बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। वेलकम टू वीडियोलॉजी पॉडकास्ट शो। अब हम अपनी स्टडीज को कंटिन्यू करते हैं। हमने कर लिए हैं 60 टॉपिक्स BT101 इकोलॉजी बायोडाइवर्सिटी एंड एवोल्यूशन 1 के। ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं। अब हम लोग 61 टॉपिक कर लेते हैं। इसका टाइटल है नॉइज़ पोल्यूशन। अपनी वीडियो को अच्छे से सुन लेते हैं।
आपने बहुत सी डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ पोल्यूशन के बारे में भी डिस्कस किया है. फॉर एग्जांपल एयर पोल्यूशन, लाइट पोल्यूशन, वाटर एंड लैंड पोल्यूशन. सो देयर इज वन टाइप ऑफ पोल्यूशन व्हिच हैज बीन गॉन अननोटिस्ड सो फार, या यूं कहा जा सकता है कि उसको बाकी दूसरी जो टाइप्स हैं पोल्यूशन की उनकी तरह रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं किया गया, एंड दैट टाइप इज कॉल्ड एज नॉइज पोल्यूशन. Noise pollution is produced by the sounds. So ऐसी कोई भी sound which is unwanted and it disrupts the quality of somebody's life, it is called as noise. और जब ये noise बहुत ज़्यादा enhance हो जाए या उसको there is a lot of noise in the environment, तो we termed it as noise pollution. So noise pollution is sound, and the sound it becomes undesirable because it is disturbing the normal working of somebody. It's sleeping, it's concentration, it's other activities, because it's losing concentration because of production of the noise in its surroundings. So it is disturbing the quality of life and performance of a human being. So that's why it is called as noise pollution. So for noise pollution, because noise is something we can't smell, we can't see the impacts of noise very abruptly or significantly, just like air pollution or water pollution, like all other pollutants. So being a pollutant, noise has not been recognized yet. So but it is because of urbanization is increasing. बहुत ज़्यादा जो है इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट हो रही है, कॉलोनीज और ह्यूमन हाउसिंग्स आर एक्सपेंडिंग, सिटीज डेवलप हो रही हैं, ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्टिंग सिटीज आर एक्सपेंडिंग. तो इसके साथ साथ नॉइज पोल्यूशन इज बिकमिंग मोर सिग्निफिकेंट. वर्ल्ड हेल्थ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हैज गिवन एम्फोसिस ऑन रिकग्निशन ऑफ नॉइज पोल्यूशन एज अ कॉन्स्टेंट फॉर अ ह्यूमन वेलबींग. So let's study the effects of noise pollution. It can damage the physiological health and psychological health of human beings. For example, जो diseases या disorders ये cause कर सकती है, उसमें high blood pressure है. It can cause stress, or a continuous or prolonged stress could cause different kind of illnesses. For example, depression, sleep disorders, hearing loss, and productivity. Productivity loss means the productivity in work or productivity at the workplace is being lost because of the noise. Other than it can cause the memory loss. It can cause severe depressions, even the panic attacks. अगर कोई शख्स एक continuous exposure में है, noise के constant exposure चल रहा है, तो इस सूरत में यहाँ पर memory loss और depression जो है has been observed. So what sources which are causing this noise pollution? There are several sources of noise pollution in our surroundings, but major is transportation, because transportation किसी भी city में highways पर it is something which is activity which is going on all the time. So the transportation systems are the main source of noise pollution in urban areas. इसके अलावा construction of buildings, highways, streets, pavements, they are causing a lot of noise. Different equipments which are being used, for example, compressors हैं, bulldozers, there are dump trucks, and there are pavement breakers, loaders, all are causing noise in our environment. Other than these things, there is an industrial noise. Factories, they are running different machines, and all these machines are causing something which is unfavorable noise for its workers and those who are living in the vicinity. उसके अलावा loudspeakers, plumbing boilers, generators, air conditioners, fans, vacuum cleaners, and all the other equipment, machines which are being used, वो चाहे हमारे घरों में इस्तेमाल हो रही हो या घरों के बाहर different purposes के लिए use हो रही हो, all are adding up in the noise around us. So to study the impacts and the sources of noise pollution, we can watch this video.
Noise is unwanted sound. Sound is a form of energy which is emitted by vibrating body, and on reaching the ear causes the sensation of hearing through nerves. According to experiments, when the loudness of noises is about 90 decibel, man's visual receptor cell sensitivity decreases rapidly, and the reaction time for faint light is lengthened. When the loudness reaches 95 decibel, about 40% of people get mydriasis and blurred vision. Sources of noise pollution: 1. Road traffic. 2. Aircraft. 3. Trains. 4. Industry or construction work. 5. Domestic appliances. 6. Adult voices. 7. Radio or TV. 8. Bells or alarm. Effect of noise pollution. Noise includes a severe impact on humans and on living organisms. Physiological effects. The physiological features like breathing amplitude, blood pressure, heartbeat rate, pulse rate, blood cholesterol are affected. Loss of hearing. Long exposure to high sound levels cause loss of hearing. Human performance. The working performance of workers or humans will be affected as they'll be losing their concentration. Nervous system. It causes pain, ringing in the ears, feeling of tiredness, thereby affecting the functioning of human system. Sleeplessness. It affects the sleeping, thereby inducing the people to become restless and lose concentration and presence of mind during their activities. Damage to material. Buildings and materials may get damaged by exposure to infrasonic or ultrasonic waves and even get collapsed. Harm for women's physiological function. Noise can cause abnormal menstruation, abortion, premature delivery.
सो हमारी वीडियो हो गई कंप्लीट. हम चलते हैं अगले स्टेप की तरफ. सो अब हम लीडिंग करते हैं. नॉइज पोल्यूशन कैन बी डिफाइंड एज द अनवांटेड साउंड और द साउंड विच कैन डिस्टर्ब one's quality of life. Sound becomes undesirable when it disrupts the normal activities such as working, sleeping, and conversation. It is an underrated environmental problem. World Health Organization has stated that noise must be recognized as a major threat to human well-being. Noise pollution can adversely affect physiological and psychological health. It can cause high blood pressure, stress-related illness, sleep disruption, hearing loss, and productivity loss. It can also cause memory loss, severe depression, and panic attacks. Some of the main sources of noise pollution are transport system, construction of buildings, highways, and streets cause a lot of noise due to the usage of air compressor, bulldozers, loaders, dump trucks, and pavement breaks. Industrial noises such as loudspeakers, plumbing, boilers, generators, air conditioners, fans, and vacuum cleaners also add to noise pollution. In this lesson, the student will learn about noise pollution, sources and effects of noise pollution. Okay, done. हम लोग की पीपीटी जो है डाउनलोड हो रही हैं. फटाफट से अपने पोस्ट असेसमेंट कर लेते हैं. पीपीटीज को पढ़ लेते हैं. Noise pollution. Sound that is unwanted or disrupts one's quality of life is called as noise. When there is a lot of noise in the environment, it is termed as noise pollution. Sound becomes undesirable when it disrupts the normal activities such as working, sleeping, and during conversations. It is an underrated environmental problem because of the fact that we can't see, smell, or taste it. World Health Organization stated that noise must be recognized as a major threat to human well-being. Noise pollution can damage physiological and psychological health. High blood pressure, stress related illness, sleep disruption, hearing loss, and productivity loss. It can also cause memory loss, severe depression, and panic attacks. Sources: transportation systems are the main source of noise pollution. population in urban areas, construction of buildings, highways and streets cause a lot of noise due to the usage of air compressor, bulldozers, loaders, dump trucks and pavement breakers. Sources: industrial noise also adds to the already unfavorable state of noise pollution. Loudspeakers, plumbing, boilers, generators, air conditioners, fans and vacuum cleaners add to the existing noise pollution. ठीक है, अब हमने इसके अलावा ये वीडियो सुन ली है. चलिए, हमारा ये टॉपिक हो गया कंप्लीट. हम चलते हैं आगे. लेक्चर नंबर 62 एसिड रेन. इसके प्री असेसमेंट ले लेते हैं. Sulfur oxidizers and reducers are the examples of chemoautotrophs. Algivores feed on algae. Which sequence is true about use of energy? Light energy to chemical energy to inorganic molecules. Light energy to electrical energy. Light energy to chemical energy to organic molecules. Okay, all are correct. Thank you Lord. अपनी वीडियो को अच्छे से सुन लेते हैं.
Now we will study different impacts of pollution, all the types which we have mentioned on our environment. इसमें सबसे significant जो effect appear होता है air pollution से और water pollution से, that is acid rain. And acid rain has been a threat from the last many years since like industrialization and urbanization are booming. We are facing this problem of acid rain almost everywhere where the cities are highly polluted because of industrial waste and the urban waste. So the acid rain that is actually a form of precipitation. It could be in a form of rain, could be the snow, it could be sleet. So इस precipitation के form में acids are being formed and rain actually is containing acidic components or acidic component in it or acids in it. So this type of acid rain, it has elevated number of hydrogen ions और pH जो है उसकी comparatively it would be lower. Normally कोई भी ऐसी rain जो कि unpolluted rain है उसकी भी pH low होती है, but it can't be lower than 5.3. अगर 5.3 से lower जा रही है तो it would be considered as the acid rain. So acid rain will have a pH lower than 5.3. So the acid rain, it could be have the deposits of water, it could have deposits of gases, even the dry or the solid materials as well. So it's a deposition of different kind of mixtures. The wet component of an acid rain, it could contain the rain, snow, sleet. Sleet is the type of rain which contains ice या snow क्या कुछ flakes जो होते हैं उसका एक part है, but once like rain is falling down, the snow will melt और जब तक surface तक पहुंचती है वो complete water form में होगी. So fog and cloud water and dew drops, they all could be the form of acid rains. The dry component of an acid rain could have acidifying particles which would be in the form of dust and in the form of gases, and these are dissolved in or suspended in air as we have seen in the case of smoke. Smoke में बहुत से suspended particles हैं जो कि solid form में हैं जो कि eventually acid rain को cause करने का responsible होंगे. So these are the components of acid rain. As we have discussed कि lower pH जो है that could be about 5.7 और या 5.3 जो है उससे भी अगर वो lower जा रही है तो mostly it would be considered as the acid rain. And क्यों pH जो है, unpolluted rain is also acidic, but why it is acidic? It is because of the reaction of carbon dioxide with the water of the rain. So the carbon dioxide and water, they react with each other and they form carbonic acid. And we know that carbonic acid is a weak acid, but it still gives hydrogen ions in the water. और ये एक normal unpolluted rain की pH को भी low कर देता है और it would take it up to 5.7, 5.3 तक वो जा सकती है. And other thing which is making unpolluted rain acidic, that is lightning. Thunderstorms में जो lightning produce होती है, that lightning would result in reaction of nitrogen and oxygen present in the air जो कि naturally present है, and this natural reaction at its high temperature of lightning, it would lead to a series of reaction producing nitric acid. So दोनों nitric acid और carbonic acid eventually किसी भी unpolluted rain की pH को low कर देते हैं, but acid rain is a different case. So दो different types जो है could be responsible. Two major sources of producing acid rains. One is natural and other one is human activity. So the natural cause of acid rain, major cause is volcanic eruption. We know that volcanic eruption, it releases a large volume of gases in air, और उसमें sulfur dioxide is one of the major component of the volcanic gases. So this sulfur dioxide in air, it would react with the air with the water of the rain and it would cause sulfuric acid. So sulfuric acid will make the rain acidic. Nitrogen fixation is another phenomenon which is happening all the time in our environment, and we have discussed it. Nitrogen fixing bacteria जो हैं वो atmospheric nitrogen को nitrates में convert करते हैं, and once it is dissolved in the water, तो nitric acid जो है उसकी formation हो सकती है. The next natural cause is again the electrical activity, which is a thunderstorm. It is producing nitric acid. It is making the rain acidic, and other cause is the glacial deposits. Acid deposits जो हैं जो ice के अंदर store हो गए हैं, that could be रिलीज इन एयर थ्रू द वाटर साइकिल और उस वाटर साइकिल से ये फिर प्रेसिपिटेशन और दोबारा से फिर सरफेस रन ऑफ में आ जाते हैं. सो दीज आर द नेचुरल कॉजेज ऑफ एसिड रेन. एंड द ह्यूमन एक्टिविटी, देयर आर ह्यूमंस एक्टिविटी आर रिलीजिंग द मेजर कंपोनेंट व्हिच इज रिस्पांसिबल फॉर एसिड रेन्स. इस एक्टिविटी में सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज जो कि सल्फर और नाइट्रोजन के कंपाउंड्स ऐड करिए हमारे एटमॉस्फेयर में, दीज आर पावर प्रोड्यूसिंग प्लांट्स एंड दीज कंट्रीब्यूशन इज डन बाय बर्निंग द फॉसिल फ्यूल. सो हमारे पावर प्लांट्स दे आर कंज्यूमिंग द फॉसिल फ्यूल. फॉर एग्जांपल दे आर यूजिंग, इसमें डीजल जो है वो कंज्यूम हो रहा है, यहाँ पे गैसेज यूज हो रही हैं. सो दिस इज प्रोड्यूसिंग लार्ज अमाउंट ऑफ सल्फर एंड नाइट्रोजन. And electricity generation factories and motor vehicles, again they are consuming the fossil fuel, and this breakdown of fossil fuel, it would combustion का जो process होगा वो उसके result में ये components sulfur के और nitrogen के हमारे environment में gases की form में release हो जाते हैं. So these are the human activities, major human activities which are producing these two components in our air, and these gases once इसको हम air में release कर देते हैं, either they are coming from the motor vehicles, from the factories, from the power plants, everything is being released in air mostly without any kind of recycling. So air in the form of a wind, it would take these gases from very to very far off places from its actual source point. तो हवा के साथ साथ ये गैसेस जो हैं ये उसकी सारी विसिनिटी में स्प्रेड होते रहती हैं और दे कुड बी इवन ट्रेवल अप टू लाइक सेवरल किलोमीटर्स डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द स्पीड ऑफ द विंड. सो उसमें एक और एक जो इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करता है दैट इज फैक्ट्री फनल्स. चिमनीज आर रियली टॉल और वो हाइट पे जाकर फ्यूम्स को, गैसेस को, स्मोक को रिलीज कर रही हैं हमारी एयर के अंदर, एंड द विंड्स दे आर स्प्रेडिंग देम अवे. एसिड रेन इज अ केमिकल प्रोसेस. इसकी फॉर्मेशन जो है उसमें 2 स्टेजेस में हम इसको डिवाइड कर सकते हैं. वन इज गैस फेज केमिस्ट्री एंड अदर इज लिक्विड फेज केमिस्ट्री. सो इन गैस फेज केमिस्ट्री द gases which is the sulfur dioxide, it is being released in the air and then it is oxidized. क्योंकि ऑक्सीजन is already present in our atmosphere, तो सल्फर को ऑक्सीडाइज करके सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड, और सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड is further oxidized by the hydroxyl line and it is converted into hydroxyl sulfonyl radical. And this HOSO2 will react with oxygen and it will give us SO3, the sulfur trioxide. The next phase of acid rain formation, it would occur in the cloud droplets, या moisture के अंदर cloud के droplets में या liquid phase में ये complete होगा. So in the presence of water, SO3 which is already formed in the gas phase chemistry, this sulfur trioxide is converted into sulfuric acid, and we know sulfuric acid is a very strong acid. Other than this sulfuric acid, nitric acid is also produced because we are releasing nitrogen in air, and this nitrogen plus oxygen, they react with each other and then they form nitric acid. Both sulfuric acid and nitric acid are strong acid and they would drop the pH of the rain. So to understand the sources of acid rains और इसके क्या impacts हैं हमारी life पर, हमारी surrounding में, हमारे environment पे, let's watch this video.
What is acid rain? Acid rain is any form of precipitation with high levels of nitric and sulfuric acids. It can occur in the form of snow, fog, and even dry materials that settle to earth. Most acid rain is caused by human activities. When people burn fossil fuels, sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides are released into the atmosphere. These gases react with water, oxygen, and other substances to form sulfuric and nitric acid. Winds may spread these acidic solutions over hundreds of miles. After it falls to Earth, acid rain enters water systems as runoff and sinks into the ground. This can make water toxic to crayfish, clams, fish, and other aquatic animals. The rest of the food chain, including non-aquatic species such as birds, is often affected as well. Acid rain also harms forests by damaging trees' leaves, robbing the soil of essential nutrients, and making it hard for trees to take up water. By designing cleaner power plants and using fewer fossil fuels, we can reduce the number of pollutants that create acid rain.
So अभी इस वीडियो पे हमने स्टडी किया कि एसिड रेन किस तरीके से हमारे एनवायरनमेंट को डैमेज करेगी. सो लेट्स स्टडी दीस इफेक्ट्स इन डिटेल. सो बिकॉज वी नो कि एसिड रेन इज लोअर इन पीएच. लाइफ कांट सर्वाइव इन अ लोअर पीएच. चाहे वो प्लांट्स हैं, वो माइक्रोब्स हैं और वो एनिमल्स हैं, दे वुड बी डायरेक्टली अफेक्टेड बाय द लोअर पीएच इन देयर वाटर्स. सो वंस कि एसिड रेन इज डिपोजिशन के बाद सरफेस रन ऑफ, एंड सरफेस रन ऑफ में ये इन्फिल्ट्रेट कर जाएगी हमारे अंडरग्राउंड वाटर में. इट विल पोल्यूट और मेक आवर अंडरग्राउंड वाटर रिजर्व्स टॉक्सिक, और सरफेस रन ऑफ के थ्रू हमारे रिवर्स, स्ट्रीम्स और अल्टीमेटली हमारे ओशंस तक ये सारे टॉक्सिक एलिमेंट्स या एसिड्स जो हैं वो वहां तक पहुंच जाते हैं, एंड दे विल रिड्यूस द पीएच ऑफ दोस वाटर बॉडीज एज वेल. सो रिजल्टेंटली लोअर पीएच, it would directly affect the functions of the body. For example, the pH if it is lower than 5, तो ये fish eggs की hatching जो है वो possible नहीं है. And if hatching is not possible, it means that species is at the risk because it's not reproducing. इसकी further future survival जो है वो impossible है. And then it would directly affect our food web because हमारी aquatic resources जो हैं food के they are mainly depending upon the fish. So अगर pH 5 से भी drop कर जाए तो ये ultimately adult fish को भी खत्म कर सकती है. और जो इसके नेगेटिव इफेक्ट्स हैं ऑफ दिस लो पीएच एंड द हाई एल्यूमिनियम कंसंट्रेशन, इट वुड किल द अदर aquatic populations as well other than fish. Aquatic animals are more sensitive as compared to terrestrial animals. So there is a huge variety of life living in aquatic environment. Many invertebrates and vertebrates they are present in aquatic environment. So imagine अगर किसी भी river की या किसी भी ocean और sea के अंदर water pH drop करती है तो it would just damage that whole system existing and operational in our aquatic ecosystem. Soils will be definitely, soil is absorbing that water which is acidic in its nature, so it would be damaged by these hydrogen ions, और उसका result जो है that would be leaching off for different nutrients from the soil because it would mobilize the aluminium and the other it will mobilize the aluminium, और उसके result में magnesium, calcium जैसे important nutrients उस soil से leach out करके drain कर जाते हैं. Resultantly ऐसी wild population जो कि वहाँ पर एग्जिस्ट कर रही है उस पॉपुलेशन के लिए न्यूट्रिएंट जो है वो सॉइल के लिए अवेलेबल नहीं होगा. सो फॉरेस्ट आर डायरेक्टली अफेक्टेड बाय दीज एसिड रेन्स, लेकिन उसके मुकाबले में क्रॉप्स जिनको कि ह्यूमन एक एडिशनल सप्लीमेंट्री फर्टिलाइजर्स दे रहे हैं, दे आर लीस्ट अफेक्टेड बाय द एसिड रेन्स. Monuments are also made up of marble, calcium carbonate, which are the hard stone. Acid rains की वजह से this hard stone is converted into gypsum, which is a soft rock, so it would be damaged with the passage of time in process of erosion. Even acid rain is too toxic कि ये copper और bronze की भी oxidation करके उनमें भी erosion cause कर सकती है. So these are the two examples of monuments which have been damaged by acid rains.
So friends, अब हम लोग अपनी रीडिंग कर लेते हैं. When the pH of the rain is abnormally low, then it is called acid rain. The water droplets contain higher levels of hydrogen ions. Acid rain can be of two types: wet rain, snow, sleet, fog, cloud water, and dew, and dry acidic components, acidifying particles, dust, and gases. Rainwater has a normally lower pH 5.7 due to formation of carbonic acid as the result of interaction between water and carbon dioxide. Nitric acid generated during lightning is also a reason for the lower pH levels of the rainwater. Acid rains are caused by natural as well as human activities. Naturally, the volcanic eruptions release SO2 in air. Nitrogen fixation adds NO2 in air. Electrical activity, that is lightning, also produces the NO2, and acid deposits in glacial ice also contribute to acid rain. Human activities include sulfur and nitrogen compounds, electricity generation. Electricity generation, factories and motor vehicles. The greatest source is the coal combustion for electricity generation in coal power plants. These gases can be carried hundreds of kilometers in atmosphere before being converted into acids and deposited. Taller factories funnels disperse smoke even further. Once in atmosphere, the SO2 gas is oxidized to SO3 due to reaction with hydroxyl radical. When the clouds are formed, the SO3 in the presence of water is rapidly converted into sulfuric acid H2SO4. Similarly, nitrogen dioxide reacts with OH and forms nitric acid HNO3. These acids are then precipitated to ground in the form of acid rain. Effects of acid rain can be very drastic. Not drastic as not many life forms can survive and grow in acidic conditions. Lower pH coupled with higher aluminum concentrations can be hazardous for fishes and other aquatic animals. At pH lower than 5, most fish eggs will not hatch, and lower pH can also kill the adult fishes as well. Soils can be damaged by hydronium ions, which mobilize aluminium and causes leaching of minerals such as magnesium, etc. Essential for plant life. Unlike food, marbles essentially containing calcium carbonate will react with acid rain to form gypsum. In this lesson, students will learn about acid rain, sources and effects of acid rain. Okay. So please go into the download. बहुत टाइम ले रही है पीपीटीज. तो पीपीटीज को हम एक साथ ही कर लेंगे. इसको कैंसिल कर देते हैं, दोबारा करके देखते हैं एक बार लास्ट टाइम. असेसमेंट कर लेते हैं। पीपीटीज़ के लिए आप लोगों को परेशान नहीं होना, मैं खुद पढ़ूँगी, जाहिर है मेरा भी सब्जेक्ट है और मैं अपनी खुद की स्टडी कर रही हूँ, तो मैं इसको छोड़ूंगी नहीं। इंशाल्लाह सारी पीपीटीज़ अलग से दूसरी वीडियो में पढ़ लूँगी। डैश आर स्ट्रॉन्गली अफेक्टेड बाय लाइट पोल्यूशन। Dash reacts with acid rain to form gypsum. ओके फ्रेंड्स, तो हमारा टॉपिक हो गया कंप्लीट। हम चलते हैं अपने अगले टॉपिक की तरफ। सो वी हैव हियर टॉपिक नंबर 63, लेसन नंबर 63, डिस्ट्रप्शन ऑफ वाटर साइकिल एंड कोस्टल की वर्किंग थोड़ी स्लो हो रही है। ओके, तो फाइनली आ गया है डिस्ट्रप्शन ऑफ वाटर साइकिल एंड कोस्टल इकोसिस्टम। प्री असेसमेंट ले लेते हैं। अब अपनी वीडियो सुन लेते हैं अच्छे से।
पोल्यूशन के रिजल्ट में जो भी पोल्यूटेंट्स हमारे एनवायरनमेंट में ऐड हो रहे हैं, दे आर डिस्टरप्टिंग आवर वाटर साइकिल एंड दे आर डैमेजिंग आवर कोस्टल इकोसिस्टम। सो विल स्टडी हाउ दीज डिफरेंट स्टेजेस इन द वाटर साइकिल आर बीइंग डिस्टरप्टेड एंड इट इज डायरेक्टली इंपैक्टिंग नेगेटिवली आवर एनवायरनमेंट। वाटर साइकिल में वी हैव स्टडीड डिफरेंट स्टेजेस ऑफ वाटर साइकिल, जिसमें एवापोरेशन है, ट्रांसपिरेशन, कंडेंसेशन, प्रेसिपिटेशन, सरफेस रन ऑफ एंड इनफिल्ट्रेशन। अगर इन स्टेजेस में किसी एक भी स्टेज में पोल्यूटेंट्स ऐड होते हैं या फिर पर्टिकुलरली एवापोरेशन, ट्रांसपिरेशन या कंडेंसेशन का रेट अफेक्ट होता है ड्यू टू द ह्यूमन एक्टिविटी और बाय एडिशन ऑफ पोल्यूटेंट्स, तो इट वुड डिस्टर्ब आवर वाटर साइकिल। Deforestation एक ऐसा phenomenon है which we have discussed in detail before, because of cutting all these trees for different purposes of human use, plants या trees का एक बहुत significant drop जो है वो yearly basis के ऊपर globally observe किया जा रहा है। So these plants they are या forest सबसे बड़ा source है जो कि water vapors को moisture के content को हमारे water cycle में add up करते हैं with the help of transpiration, and other benefit is कि इनकी roots are holding up the soil particles और erosion का rate जो है उसको control रखती हैं। लेकिन डिफोरेस्टेशन के फिनोमेनन की वजह से इट इज डायरेक्टली अफेक्टिंग द रेट ऑफ ट्रांसपिरेशन। सो इसका मतलब ये है कि हम हमारे प्लांट्स या हमारे फॉरेस्ट जो हैं वो कंपैरेटिवली एक लेसर वॉल्यूम ऑफ मॉइस्चर को अब वाटर साइकिल में या हमारी गैसेस फॉर्म के अंदर रिलीज कर पा रहे हैं। तो इट रिजल्ट्स इन रिड्यूस्ड रेट ऑफ ट्रांसपिरेशन, रिड्यूस्ड अमाउंट ऑफ मॉइस्चर इन द वाटर साइकिल, सो द लोअर रेट ऑफ प्रेसिपिटेशन इन द सराउंडिंग ऑफ फॉरेस्ट। दैट वुड बी द नेगेटिव इफेक्ट। एंड अदर नेगेटिव इफेक्ट, बिकॉज वी आर कटिंग ऑल दीस ट्रीज, सो रिजल्टेंटली हमारी सॉइल के लैंडस्केप के फीचर्स जो हैं वो डैमेज होना शुरू हो जाते हैं, बिकॉज देयर इज अ वीक सपोर्ट बाय द रूट सिस्टम ऑफ ट्रीज। सो इसका इरोजन का रिजल्ट ये है कि अदर देन मल्टीपल फैक्टर्स, उसके साथ साथ हमारा वाटर इकोसिस्टम दैट वुड बी मर्की एंड मडी, और टर्बिडिटी जो होती है उसके अंदर वो इंक्रीज करना शुरू हो जाती है। सो दैट वुड अफेक्ट ऑल द एनिमल्स व्हिच आर लिविंग इन दैट इकोसिस्टम। डिफोरेस्टेशन के साथ साथ पोल्यूशन, जैसे अभी हमने एसिड रेन के अंदर जो है स्टडी किया है कि एंड देन वी हैव स्टडीड द स्मोक एज वेल. सो दिस प्रेसिपिटेशन इज ब्रिंगिंग ऑल द टॉक्सिक एसिड्स एंड पोल्यूटेंट्स मिक्सिंग अप इन एयर एंड देन ब्रिंगिंग इट बैक इन द फॉर्म ऑफ वाटर टू द surface of the earth. So ultimately, ये सारे toxic components they are released in the water bodies because of with the help of the surface runoff. The streams, rivers, ocean, seas इनके अंदर जो है वो चले जाएंगे because of the surface runoff and then could reach the underground water through the process of infiltration. So infiltration के through जो seepage हो रही है इन सारे toxic elements की, so they are reaching the underground water and then they are polluting and making it toxic. So these toxic chemicals, because हमारा water cycle जो है, it is in a form of a cycle, it is recycling all the components. So one these toxic elements, toxic compounds and acids, they are present in the water bodies. Evaporation के through इनकी एक recycling जो है वो continued रहती है, and we are not really able to get rid of them. Even कि इनके अगर metabolites हैं या इनकी by products हैं, still they are present in the water bodies. So obviously कि हमारे coastal ecosystems are directly affecting by these activities of the human being. और उसके जिसके impacts जो हैं वो pollution और acid rains के form में appear हो रहे हैं. So in coastal ecosystem we know कि हमारी अर्थ पे majority जो urbanization और industrialization हो रही है वो mostly coastal areas में है, because we have the harbors, वहाँ पे transportation convenient है. To the other parts of the world we have water available. So almost 3 billion people they are living in the coastal areas in the world. और अगर सिर्फ एक कंट्री की एग्जांपल दें तो चाइना में हर रोज 1000 लोग जो हैं वो मूव कर जाते हैं इन दो सिटीज व्हिच आर प्रेजेंट इन द कोस्टल एरियाज. Similarly, वर्ल्ड के 17 लार्जेस्ट cities में से 14 cities ऐसे हैं जो कि coastal areas में. So we can imagine कि how much pressure we are putting on that coastal ecosystem. For example, let's understand it with the help of this image. This is example of a coastal area. And this coastal area sites पे जो city that has been established, इसमें residential areas हैं. It is containing commercial and industrial areas, or commercial activities, industrial activities are continued. They are producing their pollutants and the waste materials. Cities and towns, चाहे वो इस कोस्टल लाइन के ऊपर है या वो इस कोस्टल लाइन से थोड़ा सा हटकर भी हैं, all are adding up their waste material in this ecosystem and they are fragmenting the habitat, they are damaging the habitat. और वो animals जो कि aquatic ecosystem में रह रहे हैं, they are again I would say कि they are more sensitive as compared to terrestrial animals. Ports and harbors जो कि important component है कोई भी ऐसी सिटी जो कि coastal city है, वहाँ पे port and harbor होगी for the purpose of transportation. These are causing the major threat for that coastal ecosystem. So how they are causing threats? They are reclaiming the land from the sea and the wetland areas. उनको डैमेज करते हुए वेटलैंड्स को जो नेचुरल हैबिटेट्स हैं उनको डैमेज करके उनकी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन करके वहाँ पर ह्यूमन रेजिडेंशियल कॉलोनीज या हाउसिंग जो हैं उनको प्रिपेयर किया जाता है. So there is a building sewage and the garbage disposal facilities. They would be built in that coastal ecosystem. जो harbors हैं, they are dredging the mud और ऐसा waste जो कि sea की bottom के ऊपर है, तो they would continue dredging it. उसमें से वो scooping करके उसको निकालते रहते हैं और उस scooping का result ये निकलता है कि हमारी sea की जो bottom होगी that would be directly affected. जो कि वहाँ पे continuously digging हो रही है, उसका ecosystem 100% damage हो जाता है. And then there is a building drains to remove the storm water and the waste water. Mostly सारा storm water जो है वो इन drains के through इसी water body के अंदर directly dump कर दिया जाता है because there is no way to recycle it. Similarly, we are building the dams and dikes on the coast in the coastal areas. और ये dams and dikes they are the barriers for the animals. So that is a habitat fragmentation. Ports and harbors are continuously expanding. With the passage of time उनमें एक establishment जो है और expansion जो होगी वो continue रहती है और उसका result जो है वो ये निकलता है कि it is taking more area from the sea. So we are expanding it, we are damaging more sea or more aquatic coastal habitat. So किसी भी सिटी की एक्सपेंशन के लिए, वहाँ पर अर्बनाइजेशन के लिए, इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन के लिए, we have to reclaim the land in the wetlands. For example, अगर हम सिर्फ पाकिस्तान की एग्जांपल लें तो कराची में there is a major threat to the mangrove wetlands. So mangrove forests are being cut. Humans are cutting it down और वो expand कर रहे हैं उस land को landfill के through जो है further expansion जो है वो city is being expanded. So the coastal defenses, dams and dikes, they are disrupting the natural function of waves and tides. So that waves and tides, we know they play an important role in the life and survival of phytoplanktons and zooplanktons and the reproducing animals. For example, so turtles or fishes, ये सब in tides or waves को as a clue use करते हैं. So there would be a dredging of a harbor. कोई भी scooping of material from the bottom of the sea, it would damage the habitat at the bottom of the sea. It would damage the reefs, it would damage the natural habitats for the aquatic animals, fishes and the small invertebrates and the small vertebrates. So once it is damaged, there is no possibility कि इसकी दोबारा से recovery हो सके. Drains are dumping the waste materials and the liquid waste है, वो solid waste है, वो plastic waste है, everything is being dumped in the sea. किसी कुछ ऐसी जगह हैं जहाँ पे कि somehow इसको किसी extent तक recycle किया जाता है, but mostly without recycling, everything is being dumped in the seas or the coastal areas. Untreated sewage which is coming from different communities, human communities हैं, वो आपके domestic sewage हैं. So that would be released in the sea with recycling or without recycling. And it results in serious pollution in our water bodies. And one impact of the damage of coastal ecosystem is over enrichment. Because we are dumping the industrial waste, we are dumping the municipal waste, तो उसके result में यहाँ पे ऐसे nutrients increase कर जाते हैं जो कि algal growth के लिए बहुत favorable हैं. So it results in an overwhelmed growth of algae, resulting in algal blooms. और algae that will consume the oxygen present in that water body. Resultantly वहाँ पर जो aquatic animals हैं उनके लिए dissolved oxygen बहुत ज़्यादा drop कर जाती है और it might cause even the killing of the whole life or the partially the life present in that aquatic ecosystem. So that's how human activities are disrupting the water cycles and it is damaging the coastal ecosystem.
फाइनली हमारी वीडियो होगी कंप्लीट. अपनी रीडिंग कर लेंगे हम लोग. वन ऑफ मैनी स्टेजेस ऑफ वाटर साइकिल: evaporation, transpiration, condensation, precipitation, surface air runoff and infiltration gets interrupted due to human activity. The addition of any pollutant may result in disruption of water cycle. Deforestation directly affects the rate of transpiration, resulting in lesser volume of moisture in air. It also increases the rate of corrosion due to weak support from lack of root system, thus making water in the sea muddier, I guess. Air pollutants, smog and acid rain are brought to earth during precipitation into surface runoff. This results in infiltration of these chemicals results in increased toxicity of underground water. Approximately 3 billion people live in coastal areas, as 14 of world's largest 17 cities are located along the coast. For reclaiming coastal lands for urban development, mangroves and other wetland areas are destroyed. Coastal defenses, dams and dikes disrupt the natural function of waves and tides. Dredging of harbors damage reefs and produce sediments, which also smoother reefs. Smoother reefs. Drains may deliver excess freshwater, solid waste and pollutants to coastal areas. Untreated sewage may be released in the sea, causing pollution. This results in over enrichment of nutrients in water, causes eutrophication. In this lesson, the students will learn about disruption of water cycle and coastal ecosystems. Dash is produced as a result of lightning. Acid rain dash oxidation rate of metals. Under essence of water, dash is converted into sulfuric acid. So फ्रेंड्स, यहाँ तक हमारा टॉपिक होता है कंप्लीट. अब अगला टॉपिक से हम अगली वीडियो में स्टार्ट करेंगे.